Hi, welcome to Stuff Jade made. Today we're going to be working on learning how to draw bubbles using Copic markers. I haven't seen this anywhere else online, and so I thought I'd show how I like to do it. To begin, you're going to need some Copic or other alcohol-based markers in a variety of blue or blue-green colors, whatever colors you feel best represent water to you. You're going to need a colorless blender, and you are going to need a jelly roll pen. So to start, I'm going to take my lightest colors and lay down a nice base to work on. I like to mix in some different shades of blue and blue-green and a nice fade colors and just kind of play with it a little bit. What's fun is whenever you get to fade things together and blend and just kind of have fun with it. I'm just going to continue kind of playing with these for a little bit until I'm happy with how they're blending together. This sort of looks like a bubble in itself, but this is not the bubble. This is just my variegated background for the water. I found that if you vary your colors, you tend to have a slightly better looking bubble. It just seems to help with defining the edges of the bubble. It looks a little bit more three-dimensional. So then I'm going to take my colorless blender, once this has had time to kind of dry out a little bit. The colorless blender works by pushing other colors out of the way. You can use it to blend, obviously, to kind of smooth things out if you just apply it to a large area, but when you apply it to a very small area, it fills up that spot on the paper and spreads it out a little bit. It may depend on your kind of paper. I can't make promises it'll work on every kind of paper, but for instance, this is just a sketchbook. I've used it on cardstock, I've used it on marker paper, all with good results. So to start with this, I'm going to start by drawing a circle and then placing the center or the tip of the marker in the very center and just kind of push it around a little bit. And you can already see the edges. Let me move my bleed page so we don't have to worry about that showing through. The edges already begin to kind of define a little bit. Push around the other colors. And it's okay if they're a little bit wobbly, because real bubbles tend to change shape as they float and glide through the water. And you can always adjust, just add a little bit more here and there as you want to. When you mix sizes, you create an effect as well. And for instance, I'm going to try and make these so that it looks like there's a source somewhere down here near the bottom. It's creating these bubbles, and that they kind of get bigger through the middle. And then they sort of break up as they come near the top up here. Tiny ones just by focusing in a very small area. If you come in and put some down, then work in another area for a little bit and then come back, it won't spread quite as much, but you'll still get the nice defined edges. Feel happy with the layout of these at this point. I feel like we need another fellow right here. That's already starting to look kind of bubble-like. Now for the final touch, I'm going to take this, and what I kind of want to do is, when you think about how the light hits a bubble, it's going to, for instance, I'm going to try and put my light kind of up in this area, and it's going to strike the top of the bubble, so it'll have a defined spot where it hits the top of the bubble. But then it diffuses and also reflects on the bottom inside of the bubble. So what I'm going to be doing is creating a bit of a spot where it hits it, and then add a little bit of roundness to the bottom where it diffuses across the back bottom of the bubble. Keep in mind, for instance, if the light source was here, it would reflect more across the bottom of this one, direct on the side of this one, and then on the top of this one. But since I'm kind of having my light source come from up this direction, it's going to affect it across the tops of these. Go further back, they don't have to be quite as distinct, because for instance these are slightly hidden, so I can remove a little bit of the color by giving it a touch. These are bubbles floating up through the water. The variegation kind of helps both define them and give them visual interest. Let me know if you wind up using this. I really enjoy using this method. It's simple and it's pretty effective. So let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.